Hello, Buff fans, and welcome to this week's edition of the Coaches Show on the WT Sports Network. I'm Cale Steed. Joining me is Coach Jason Scotch. Coach, how are you?
Doing good.
Good, man. And 9-0 start, best start since 1999. You've even extended the LSC win streak to 86. How you feel your girls are playing so far?
We're traditionally my teams are very defensive oriented, and our offense is average to above average. And I'm trying to figure this out because right now, it's only been 9 matches, but we're almost to a third of the season, and our offense is doing way better than I would have ever thought, but our defensive numbers are lower than traditional. So, but that being said, we're winning by a better margin, and we're finishing games way more impressively.
Talk about your front line with newcomer Lacey Hayes and Aaron Doherty. They look like they wreak havoc on a lot of people. The size, the length, they look aggressive. They look good.
Well, Lacey was a high-end recruit, and she's transferred in from Clemson, and it just didn't work out. But you know, she was good, and she just needs some. She's one of the sort of kids if they're coachable, you really like because they're naturally good in the game. They just need a little bit more of a fundamental base. Aaron is sort of what you want in a college kid is. She's a little undersized and she's not explosive, but she's extremely coachable and she's very committed. And so she's a perfect example of what just working hard for 2 years will do. So all of her success, she deserves it, and everybody on the team wants her to keep winning, producing like she is because she does it the right way. And so it's two different situations, but with Aaron, it's sort of makes you feel good because some of the stuff that we've been working on, she's a product of what we teach.
Busy week this week. You got Eastern New Mexico at home, on the road this weekend. Kind of talk about 2 LSC games.
Well, Eastern struggled originally start the season, but then they ended up beating Kingsville. And even though our Kingsville match we won by a good stretch, they're better than that. And Eastern, I look historically before I got here, and even since I've been here, Mike McGuire, the old coach who took basically a sabbatical and came back. They're good and they know how to fight. So even their losses, they're losing in 5 or a tight 4. So I really don't know how that game will go. Tarleton was the team last year where we broke the NCAA record for streaks, and we had to win at 21-19 in Game 5. And so they lost an amazing outside hitter from Venezuela, but then they got a transfer in from Blinn Junior College, and she's a first-team All-American. She's very explosive. They have now a sophomore named Flynn Harrell, and at their place. So I think it's going to be a good match. Right now, I think we win because we're more balanced and we have more than one person that can hit, one person that can block and at a high level. So we have good chances to win them, but Eastern is a very defensive-oriented team, and Tarleton's extremely offensive, and so it'll be good for our girls because they won't be able to rely on the same sort of mindset to win those matches.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us. We'll be right back after the break with WT Women's Soccer Coach Chad Webb.
The wind can run, but it can't hide. See your High Country Chevy dealers.
All right, welcome back, Buff fans. We're here with one of my favorite coaches, Lady Buff soccer head coach Chad Webb. Chad, how are you, man?
I'm fine, man. How you doing?
Good. 3-1 start this year. Talk about differences this year to last year's team so far.
So far this year, we've got a lot of new players, a lot of young players. We actually have more incoming players than we have returners. So we've used the first 3 games to try to do some experiments with some of the new players in different spots. And yesterday, some of the new players really demonstrated that they're here and they want to compete.
Big win over New Mexico Highlands is what he's talking about, and a lot of depth this year compared to something you didn't have last year after all the injuries you went through.
Yeah, and that really helped us out yesterday because there was a moment in the second half where if you don't score goals against them, they'll turn it into a physical battle. And being at home, they have a little field and they can get close to you and they can do lots of kicking and lots of pushing. And in the second half, I put in half a dozen babies and they pushed back and they kicked back and it turned into a physical battle, and that was kind of fun to watch.
Interesting story, too. You have a new girl on your team. Her name is Leslie Briggs. Kind of tell us her story. She comes kind of a long journey for her.
Yeah, Les and I have known each other for a long time. She played for me when she was a kid in growing up here in Amarillo, some of the youth soccer clubs. She was 10, 11, and 12, I believe, when I coached her, and she moved off to Dallas and did some pretty special things. Played on some youth national championship teams, went to University of North Carolina for a while, won a national championship on their women's soccer team. Yeah, I watched her sub in the game on television. He texted her a message afterward and said, "Hey, superstar, I saw you win a national championship." And, you know, the story is she finished her business degree. She ended up at SMU after North Carolina. She graduated with an economics degree, I believe, and she still has some eligibility. So here she is. We've reunited, and she's running around up front for us and going to grad school here at West Texas.
That's awesome. What a great story there. And 3 road games this week. On the road, kind of break those down for us. It's a busy week for you guys. Kind of crucial. LSC play, all of them.
3 Lone Star Conference games in about 5 days, all on the road, and none of those places are easy places to go to. So we go to Portales tomorrow, which is always tough. We go to Commerce on Friday, which is always tough, and then we have Texas Women's on Sunday, who's just gotten better and better and better every year, and you know, that might be the toughest of the 3, actually. It wasn't that way in the past, but women's might be the toughest of the 3, so hopefully we show up all 3 games and play well and see what happens.
All right, Coach, thank you very much, and thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week for another edition of the WT Coaches Show from the WT Sports Network. I'm Kale Steed.